Hey. Nope. Anything now? How about now? You hear anything? I'm talking to you. Yeah.
There's just a delay, so yeah.
All right. I think we're back. Now let's do this whole thing again. Pretend you didn't see it the first time. Oh my God. Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. In case you are new, I am Jason Green. Today we have an amazing special guest. People ask me about him all the time. This is your chance to ask him questions. The one and only Stephen PEARCY, right after that.
Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there can waste time with you.
All right. Hopefully everything works now. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty. This is what happens when you do live broadcasts. So Stephen will be here in just a little bit. I want to point out a few things. He's offering a special holiday deal on his merchandise during the broadcast of this show. So if you're watching live, if you go to officialstephenpearcy.com and you buy anything on his website, right, as the screen says, they're going to include a free autographed CD. So if you wanted to get Stephen's autograph, this is a cool way to do it and get some cool merchandise. They got 20% off on coffee mugs. They've got all kinds of cool designer mugs and then t-shirts. All that stuff is on sale right now. So that's at officialstephenpearcy.com. I want to get this in there now because by the time the show ends, the deal may not be around. It's a special thing for viewers of this show. So we're going to get to Stephen in just a minute. A couple quick programming notes. Next interview up on this channel is John Bush from Armored Saint and Anthrax. I had no idea he was the voice of the Burger King commercials, but we do discuss that in the upcoming interview. He was also in the Huey Lewis music video, The Heart of Rock and Roll. Completely odd. And so we talked about that and some other interesting things. And he's a pretty private guy. He's got no social media or anything like that. And I think it's a cool interview. So that's coming up. That'll be the last interview of the year. There's also a lot of different stuff, as I've told people before, a lot of actors and actresses coming up. And then tomorrow we are having a live virtual Christmas party. And I urge you to tune in at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And anyone who's been on the show could appear. You really have no idea who's going to show up. It's going to be like one of those old Bing Crosby, Perry Como Christmas specials. You hear, oh, well, who's there? And then they show up. So going to be a lot of really cool special guests. Now, I'm going to lay out a few little things about the Stephen PEARCY interview. There are a lot of people watching right now, more than usual. And I know a lot of people are going to have questions for Stephen. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I possibly can. Obviously, preference is going to go to my Patreons, people who've signed up for my Patreon program. Definitely subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is the best time to do it. Subscribe, because that really helps as well. And then anyone, obviously, who uses Super Chat, any of those kind of things, Super Sticker, your questions will be answered first. I can't guarantee that he's going to get to every single question. So when you ask, where's Warren DeMartini, it helps if you put a tip behind it. Anyway, because we're going to have a lot. It's going to be really busy, and he's got a lot to say, a lot to talk about. And he's got a busy year next year that he is also going to tell us about and what is going on with the future of RATT and with the future of the Stephen PEARCY band. So the way it's going to work is Stephen's going to join us. I'm going to chat with him for a bit. I'm going to ask some questions, and then I'm going to open it up to as many of you as possible. Get your questions ready. One of the questions that I want you guys to comment, and you don't have to do it right now, you want to do it when Stephen's here, is what is a RATT song that maybe it's a deep cut that you want to hear Stephen play with his band? So I have a list of mine. I have a whole bunch that I would like to hear. You know, when you see Stephen PEARCY's band, you're going to hear definitely the greatest hits of RATT. He also plays a bunch of songs off the EP. But what songs do you guys like? What are your favorite RATT tracks that you want to hear live? And we are going to get to that. And again, I see there's a lot of questions already, and I am going to do my best to get to these. But again, let's wait till Stephen gets here. That'll be it'll be easier because it's going to be hard for me to keep up with everything. So again, yeah, if you want to sign up for Patreon, also now is the time. All kinds of cool things. You watch all the interviews ad-free before anybody else. So my Patreons get to see the interview. They'll be watching the John Bush interview before everybody else. Sorry, I'm getting old. Got to shift in my chair a little bit. So we're getting ready for the holidays. I was just in Iowa with Stephen PEARCY and his band, and they put on a great show. And it was really great to be back out traveling and play around live music. It's been such a long time for a lot of us. Let's hope that things will continue in that way, and that you'll see a lot more. And because there's a lot of dates to come, and if you don't know, I have been tour managing the Stephen PEARCY band. And even though I vowed never to tour manage again, especially anyone associated with the band RATT, somehow they keep dragging me back in. But I really do like Stephen and like working with him. And he's got some really good things coming. I feel like Stephen doesn't get the credit that he deserves. You know, we talk about Vince Neil or Bret Michaels, a guy who came much later, open for RATT. But Stephen doesn't always get the credit he deserves. And I think that's going to change. I think we're going to be hearing a lot about the new stuff he's going on and the new direction of RATT and of his own music. So anyway, we're going to get to all of that. I know that you're waiting for Stephen, and he'll be here in just a minute. So again, if you're new to this channel, make sure you go look at my other interviews, because there's 100 interviews here. This is the fastest growing channel of its kind. Our numbers are high, higher than Enough's Enough on a Saturday night, and that is a good thing. It's a great thing, actually, and that's why people are asking to come on. We've got sponsors, we've got all kinds of stuff, we've got giveaways, all kinds of stuff in the new year. It is going to blow your mind, the stuff and the rapid growth. My goal was to get to 10,000 subscribers in the first year. We're closing in on it, and we are very close to 1 million views in under a year. That's unheard of. There's a lot of guys doing these kind of things who aren't even close to that, and they've been doing it for a lot longer. So it's because the audience likes it, and I think it's also because this is an authentic show. We don't really bullshit here. We have honest chat, and we have really cool guests come by and talk to us. A lot of wrong spellings of Stephen's name, I notice. For those of you who aren't familiar, Stephen. So we'll make sure we get that right. And yeah, there's a good question here about the golden child. That's a good one. You guys got good questions, but you're going to have to hold on, because Stephen is the one who can answer these, and we're going to get to it. I'll tell you a few of the RATT songs. Well, you know what? I'll save it for when Stephen gets here. But I got a few songs I'd like to hear. And let's see here. Anyway, and so we're going to get to all of that and more. Again, I want to remind you, at officialstephenpearcy.com, his website. During this interview, if you go over there, you can buy anything, and it's all on sale. And Stephen will autograph a CD for you. I got to remind you, because this is live. So if people are coming in late, they're going to want to know these things. So make sure you do that. If you're interested in having Stephen's autograph, this is a great way to do it, and get a free CD and get some other cool merchandise. And so when Stephen gets here, we are going to talk about his health, because he's had some health issues, and he's been working with other people to sort of motivate them, because Stephen is a cancer survivor, and he's going to talk about that a little bit. He's going to talk about being strong and being back on the road, because he also was sick and had to cancel some dates, but he is back, and back for more, as the old pun goes, and he's doing good. And so we're going to go over the dates that he has next year, and then a million of you can ask, where is Warren DeMartini? Because that's going to come up a lot. I'm just showing a couple of your questions, and let's see here. Let's see. I don't really remember which record some of these were. Let's see. Okay, so we got that going. And yeah, and so again, make sure you subscribe and make sure you watch some of the other interviews. I don't know if you guys are I know a lot of people are here for the first time, and look, here's Mandy Lyon. Mandy Lyon is here. Nice to see you, Mandy. Mandy lives out here in Las Vegas, and has a great record that I've heard that is coming out soon. So you'll have to wait for that, and maybe we'll have him on the show to talk about it. All right. This is a good question right here. This is an inside joke that not everyone is going to get, but I find it funny. This is a great question too. Any chance the EP will be re-released? I know the answer to that, but I'm not sure I can tell it until he gets here. And we're going to get our chance, because I spend a lot of time with Stephen, and it's hard for me always to get a straight answer out of him on certain things. So maybe if we all team up, he will give us a little insight on what is happening with RATT and his music. Also, it is the Christmas season. Can you believe that we're just a few days away from Christmas? I think we're 4 days away. So I want to thank everyone who supported the channel this year and wish you a Merry Christmas and, of course, Happy New Year. And you can come back tomorrow and watch the Christmas party. There's going to be a lot of fun people on here. I see a lot of inside conversation. People want to know about Carlos Cavazo. People want to know about, and it's all coming. You can watch an interview with Carlos on this channel where he talks about what his plans are and what he would do to be back in RATT. And so Stephen is also living here in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where I live. And so it's nice. We get to travel together to the shows. And I shot a little tour diary that I will be releasing later this week. Got a little more editing to do, which shows exactly what it's like on the road these days. It is not not like the old days. You don't get on the bus anymore. We flew from Las Vegas to Minneapolis, from Minneapolis to Illinois, and then an 1.5-hour drive to Iowa. So it's not as glamorous as it may have once been, but the show was great and the crowds are great. And that's one of the reasons you guys support live music, because your favorite band went a long way to get to that show. I mean, they spent time in 3 and 4 airports and sitting in planes, trains, and automobiles. So if they come to your city, especially bands, of the 80s hard rock level, Guns N' Roses and Metallica, those guys will be fine if you stayed home. But support, live music, because these bands, they need you, and they really went a long way to be there to entertain you. So, and you will be able to catch Stephen PEARCY on New Year's Eve in San Diego. So if you're near San Diego, you can come check that out. And maybe that RATT really began out of San Diego. Stephen PEARCY started his career. So, the Johnny Monaco interview was definitely an entertaining one, and won over a lot of people. And he tells his story of auditioning for RATT. Okay, now I think I got an update here. I think they're going to let this go for 24 hours. Okay, here we go. This is just in. During the interview and for the next 24 hours, you will get a free collectible signed CD with any purchase. Okay, that's good news. So for those of you who are watching this on the replay, and I know a lot of you do, we have 155 people watching right now, but a lot of people are going to watch this later tonight. If you're watching, you have 24 hours from the first airing of this to buy anything on Stephen's website and get the free signed CD. So I don't mean to sound like an infomercial, but these are things that you should know. We're passing it on to you. I want to thank Sin City Collector for moderating today. He has all the links and things, and he's going to help me get to as many of your questions as we can. Stephen also has a documentary called Nothing to Lose, which is available on Asai TV, and most of it, I believe, is now on YouTube through Asai TV. And I do recommend that if you're interested. Obviously, Stephen has a book The strange thing with a book about a guy like Stephen is that the ending is far from written. There's so much more history to Rat and to his career and to the other projects that he does outside of Rat. He's got his Top Fuel race cars and all the other interesting things that he does. And I want to remind everybody that, hold on. Now, see, here's a question, but he's not here yet. Question is, hey, Steve, if Robin Crosby got his soul was still with us, do you think he'd be performing with Rat? Well, that's a great question. First of all, I appreciate the super chat. I think that's what that's called. And we're going to get to that question. I will make sure to ask him that one. And I think it's great. And I know Stephen loves to talk about Robin Crosby, who was his very good friend. And that is a good question. It's hard to say what would have happened. Unfortunately, Robin definitely was troubled at the end of his life. So, and here's the update right there on the information. So you do have 24 hours to get that signed CD. And the CD is free, actually. So you get whatever item you want from there, and then you buy it. So anyway, I get people all the time asking me to have their favorite musicians on this show, and we've done our best to do them. And so tomorrow we're going to do a year in review, and you guys can tell us. You can tell us what your favorite interview was and who you'd like to see on the show. I kind of get a hunch that I'm going to hear a lot of Vito Bratta and a lot of Warren DeMartini, and for some reason the band Icon, which I know nothing about. And then there's Stephen's website. So if you guys want to get that signed CD, I'm not exactly sure which CD it is, but we will figure that out. I think it's, he'll tell us. And then I'm going to just talk about some of the upcoming shows for Stephen. December 31st, New Year's Eve in San Diego. February 11th at the Whiskey A Go-Go. If you're going to see a member of Rat, the founding member of Rat, what a cool place to see him. February 16th, rescheduled date, Warrendale, Pennsylvania. April 29th, Buffalo, New York. That's also rescheduled. April 30th, Jordan, New York, rescheduled. These are the shows when Stephen was sick. May 1st, New Bedford, Massachusetts. There's also a show at the Mohican Sun with Slaughter and Quiet Riot. And Stephen will be at the M3 Festival. And then the 80s Rock the Dam Fest, which is in Kentucky. That's July 30th. I think that's a great bill. That bill is the original Bullet Boys, if they're actually still together. Who knows? Kix, Quiet Riot, and Stephen. So there's a lot to see. Yeah, and then, of course, I'm just trying to skim as many of your questions as possible. And yes, Rat Mansion West. A lot of people mentioning Rat Mansion West, and if you watch Stephen's documentary, you actually get to see Rat Mansion West, where they used windows instead of doors, because how else would you enter a place? Now, here's a good question from Lorraine. Is the Whiskey Show going to be streamed? And I believe the answer is yes, it will. And Stephen will confirm that when he gets here. And he'll be here just any minute, by the way. We're almost there. I told him to come on a little bit later. He was up and Adam and early and ready to go, but I wanted to make sure that we built a little bit of an audience. And that's what we're doing right now. We're building anticipation. So, but he'll be here in a second. All right, yeah. I'm happy to see that some of the deeper interviews that people really seem to enjoy them, and that's what makes this channel special. Yes, you get George Lynch and Stephen Pearcy and some of the big ones, and but then there's also Circus of Power, and I see a lot of people commenting on some of their favorites, and those are the ones for me too, because I try to ask honest questions that I want to know, and it's not fake, and I don't. I actually listen to what the people are saying. It's an amazing concept. Yeah, a lot of questions about O.J. Simpson dating Tawny Kitaen and also Robin Crosby dating her. And so we talk about that. And I've been getting this one a lot too. They want to see Stanley from A Life, Sex, or Death. And that would be interesting, Life, Sex, and Death. And so we will see if that's possible. If you guys aren't familiar with Life, Sex, and Death, it was this interesting band. Alex Kane is going to come on the show, what we're working on now. But basically, they had a homeless guy who was the singer, and some people say it was real, and some people say it was a work. I met him, and he sure acted the part, and he smelled really bad. Kind of stayed in character. Let's talk about some of these Rat songs. We'll get it going before Steven gets here. Some of the deep tracks that you want to hear in the show. So here's some of mine. Dance. Right? That's not that deep. It's a video, but I'd like to hear that. Looking for Love, Closer to My Heart. That's a great one. Closer to My Heart. Great Robin Crosby solo. City to City would be a good one to get back in there. Never Use Love. I don't think some of these have ever been played. What You Give Is What You Get. You Should Know By Now. These are some of my favorites, right? So I want you guys to start thinking about your favorites because it's yeah. I'm reading other questions, so forgive me for being distracted. All right. Now you're saying that you saw Rat in Sydney, Australia with Winger opening, another band that I worked with. And Circus of Power. After 30 minutes, popped back and I killed it. I saw that concert on YouTube. I believe it's the only time they ever played Australia, and I remember telling Stephen how great I thought the set was because a lot of those songs that you are I was just asking for, some of them got played back then. So we're going to get to your questions. Let's see if he's ready. Modern technology at its finest. And then I got some questions from the Patreons that we got to get to as well. This is a nice one. A full show of his solo music. I think that might make for a really good streaming event. This is the show that I was at. Yeah, you saw LSD open for Lynch Mob. He smelled so bad. Yeah, that I saw at the Limelight, which was a church in New York City that rock shows. I saw them open for Lynch Mob. I met Stanley, and yeah. So yeah, a lot of people asking for Infestation, which I believe is the last Rat record that I'm not as familiar with as you youngsters. But anyway, we'll see when he gets there. Yeah. Some of these questions are so ridiculous. The tricky one is that people are going to throw in Rat songs that and try to trick me. And let's see. Yeah, Bon Jovi was the opener for Rat. I don't know whatever happened to them. Did they go on to do anything? Are they successful? We'll find out. Does Steven stay in touch with the Crosby family? It's a good question. I believe Robin had. I believe he had family. Well, we're going to find out. I don't know. Let's find out. And you can follow him on Instagram. What do you know? So I know you guys are all ready. And as you know, for these live shows, I don't really sit and prepare too much. So we're just making some time ourselves until he joins us. And again, there's a lot to talk about. So a lot to talk about. Arcade is another one that comes up a lot. He plays an Arcade song live. He played it in the last show. And, when you play these shows, it's tricky because especially some of these places like where we were in Iowa, they don't know every deep song. They know the hits. And so I think for Steven, it's a difficult thing to choose between which songs to play. Obviously some of them you have to play. Rat's catalog of greatest hits to me is so strong. I believe that Rat is the superior band to Motley Crue, another band of their time. We're going to do a show here, a live show, where we're going to compare both bands and tracks, and you'll see for yourself that I believe the Rat catalog is stronger. But when you go see them, you're going to have to hear Round and Round, and you're going to have to hear Lay It Down, Body Talk, Slip of the Lip. There's a lot of these songs that Back for More, Lack of Communication, that are going to have to go on the show. So then they have to make room to put in the other songs. And then you have to hope that they'll play them. Nothing to Lose is the arcade song that he plays in his current show. So anyway, we're just we're like seconds away. But what I would need to do is make sure that you guys like this video. That helps. Like it. And again, subscribe. You got to subscribe to the channel for free entertainment like this. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm reading a lot of your questions for him and a lot of these things that I don't know the answer to. And hopefully he will give a chance of re-releasing the arcade debut album. Good question. Now, you guys are going to have to re-ask some of these questions when he gets here. 7th Avenue is one that I would like. That's on my list as well. I think some of those songs are lost, and I don't think they've ever been played. I spoke to Stephen about doing kind of what the Rolling Stones do, which is do a thing before the show where fans can vote on his website, and there'll be a list of 3 or 4 or 5 songs, and you pick the one you want to hear that night, and maybe you'll get one that is a little deeper. So anyway, we're getting there. We have 200 people in the room right now. Let's see. He's logging in, and yes, and he'll be here in 2 seconds. And then you can ask him all these questions that you have. Again, let's remind everyone, it's officialstephenpearcy.com. Go to his website, buy anything tonight for the next 24 hours, and you are going to get a free autograph CD just in time for the holidays. I think that's a good gift. And then, yeah, so you should, yeah. Here, let's get to some of these here. You should know by now. I think for sure we got to get that one in there. And thank you, Kevin. Open for Billy Squier in Greensboro in the 80s. How wild is that, huh? A long time ago. What's the state of RATT now? That is a question that you can ask it any day of the week, and maybe you'll get a different answer. We're going to ask him, though. We're going to ask him. And I think this time he's a little more talkative. If you haven't seen my previous interview with Stephen, you can go on and you can check that out, and you can see what we talked about. Let's see. Okay. And all right, I know you guys are tired of me, but he says he's logging in. He'll be here any second. Boy, some dumb questions too. I got to tell you, that's one thing about doing this. You get some good questions and you get some dumb questions. And then you get some funny statements like, is he a fan of fake RATT? Anyway, I'm glad you guys watch. We've had a great year, 100+ interviews and a ton of these live streams. And then again tomorrow, the virtual Christmas party where anyone who's appeared on this show could possibly pop up, talk about their Christmas and all these other type things. I'm loving these questions. They're good questions, but you got to wait until he gets here, which should be any second. He likes to make an entrance, if you know what I mean. You know, he was having a whole talk. Someone's not that one. Where's the? He was having a whole talk about the Sound City the other day. We were sitting in the car, and he had a really interesting stuff. There's never a dull moment, and Stephen has had such a history. He's forgotten more than most musicians will ever even experience in their lives. So, yeah, thank you. Some of these questions are so bizarre, but you know, I'm not above passing them on to him. And again, if you're in near San Diego for New Year's Eve and you haven't made your plans yet, come out and see the Voice of RATT. And that should be great. All right. So I mentioned John Bush is the last interview of the year. And then also I've got some interesting ones coming up. Donnie Dunnigan, who is an actor, he was the voice of Bambi, and he was in the movie Son of Frankenstein. He is the only living actor to work with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. And so his interview is coming up, and I'm trying to do some more of those. The first interview on this channel was Joe Esposito, who sang a song called You're the Best Around from The Karate Kid and now Cobra Kai. And he also wrote the song Bad Girls for Donna Summer. That was my first interview on this channel. And that's so it begun. Although, as I've told people before, this was not a hobby for me. I went to school for broadcast journalism a million years ago. Just other things got in the way. And now that you're able to do this in your living room in front of your Christmas tree, I thought it would be a good time. It's funny, sometimes Stephen does these interviews and people use these really bad clickbait headlines like, but he's almost dead. And yes, they get a lot of views out of it, but there's absolutely no substance to it. So Stephen still listens to music actively. Oh, hold on, he's texting. Let's see what he says. Hold on. You're the Best Around was originally written for Rocky III. That is correct. They went with Eye of the Tiger by Survivor instead. And then John Avildsen, who directed Rocky, who directed The Karate Kid, said, I know this great song that didn't get used, and he used it. Joe Esposito also sang the song for Flashdance, Lady, Lady, Lady. But he was going to sing What a Feeling, but they decided that it would be better to have a woman sing it because it was a song, it's a movie about the power of women. So let's see. We're 34 minutes in and still we don't have Stephen yet, but he's here. He's close. The Geico commercial, great marketing. That was great marketing. All right. You got great questions, but we got to wait for him. So anyway, yeah. So it's been a year that we've done this. That was Joe Esposito was the first interview, and that's where it begun. Carlos Cavazza was the big one that sort of put this channel on the map because he does not do interviews. He hasn't done one since, and 75,000 people have watched it so far. People liked his views on Quiet Riot, and he talked about RATT as well. So anyway, I thought, come on here, I'll kill 15 minutes. And here we are 35 minutes later. And the good news is if you're watching this on the replay, you can just fast forward all this shit and get right to Stephen. Yeah, I don't know what Carlos is necessarily doing. I mean, a lot of these bands put out press releases saying they got new members, but really a lot of people aren't playing shows. And so I don't know. I'm not sure that there's I'm not sure you can believe everything you read. I'm trying to get Stephen to log on so I could stop yapping with you guys. You want to get to the point. If you watched my live interview with Carlos, he had such a bad connection. At one point, I had to call him on the phone. So I was just at the house Kevin DeBro died at today. That's an interesting thing. That house is actually very close to my house. Maybe it's a mile away. We used to play the band Sin City Sinners that I had put together. We had a gig at a place called the Dive Bar that was right across the street from his house. And he was supposed to play with us. I have a message from Kevin a week before he passed saying that he was looking forward to coming out and jamming. And sadly, it wasn't meant to be. I'm trying to think of what other I'm about to start killing time and doing something else. He's taking a rat nap is right. 25 million people watching right now, and where are you at? he's signing your CDs, and he's so busy that he doesn't have time for this this bullshit. Anyway, yeah, I should have prepared a show for you, but until he gets there, we'll be fine. And like I said, those of you watching in the replay, you can kill time. Let's see here. I'm reading your questions. I apologize if it sounds like I'm ignoring you, but at this point, we're going amongst ourselves. You'll see my tour diary later this week of what it was like to. And what's funny is I always stress that Stephen is sober and he's very organized, but where is he? I don't know. I'll answer my questions with here's one. My favorite band. My favorite band is the Ramones. That is the band that inspired me to buy a guitar. The band inspired me to write a song. Everything about music for me comes from the Ramones. And there was a time when people who think the Ramones are stupid, bands like Winger, no offense to Winger, but they don't understand the Ramones, not at all. Rod Morgenstein, who is one of the greatest living drummers, he saw the Sex Pistols live, and he said to me that he thought it was a joke. He didn't know that it was meant to be serious, because these guys have no concept of punk music. And that's not an insult. They just don't get it. They went to Berkeley or teach at Berkeley, or Kip Winger can put together a fucking ukulele concerto. I'm not joking. I believe there's no wrong way to play music. I believe music is meant to be, it's also meant to be a little dangerous, And if you listen to original RATT, early RATT, the first album, the EP, has more of almost a punk sound. And if you listen to Steven's guitar playing, which he's been putting out videos of him playing, you can see that it wasn't the fancy polished sound that maybe with Beau Hill and things they would get to later. So anyway, so that is my favorite band of all time. I don't like people who have to study math to play music, or people who have to fit in 20 million notes. Did that answer your question? I have no idea where he's at. 250 people waiting to have their question asked. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'm overwhelmed. Am I a Kiss fan? Yeah, I am a Kiss fan. I'm not one of those Kiss fans who's obsessed. It's not my whole life, but I do like them. Yeah, Johnny Thunders was glam before glam. Of course, Johnny Thunders and the New York Dolls and all those bands. I think some of these bands that took on that image later had no concept of where they even got that, with their own look. But I like the original version of Back from War better than the second one. And Matt Thorne, he co-wrote part of Back from War, and he was on the show, and you could check out that interview. There was a lot of really interesting connections, especially with the guys in Rough Cut, coming out of San Diego and performing with the band Mickey Rat. And I didn't realize how great the guitar players were in San Diego. Amir Derak and Warren DeMartini, Jake E. Lee. This is some pretty good things. Question is, what do I think of David Lee Roth's retirement? Well, I'm glad I didn't spend a lot of money on a ticket to his alleged last show. I think at some point, I think Dave's probably having some health issues and slowing down, but I think he's going to milk this. I think he's going to milk it for a while. And why not? I think Vegas is a strange place for him to end his career. I feel like he should do it in Pasadena. I don't know if they have a venue, but something like that, back closer to home. So I love Dave, and Stephen Pearcy, our guest today, who is fashionably late. He first met David Lee Roth at the Whiskey and became good friends with Dave and Eddie Van Halen. Let's see what he has to say. Hold on. Hold on a second. He says he's on, but he's not on. Well done, folks. This is why you tape these things. The other day we had somebody on, the same thing happened. Who the fuck was it? It's been so long. Let me see. Hold on, folks. This is if you want a polished broadcast, go watch Eddie Trunk, right? Hold on. Let me just make sure. I'm checking the link myself to make sure it works. Turn the volume down. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll get there. The funny thing is he's been on the show before. Here's some nice compliments from me, which I'm always happy to take. Billy Bongwaters is willing to wait. That's always good. Thank you, Billy Bongwaters. David Lee Roth is the greatest American frontman of all time. I agree. I agree. I did not see Stephen posting that he's having technical issue. I missed that. But then again, I'm sitting here juggling, trying to entertain the masses. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. He'll be here, though. We'll get this straight. Well, but in the meantime, more compliments for me. And I'll take all of your compliments. It's the holiday season. And we'll save Stephen's compliments until he actually shows up. Oh, sorry. I was distracted. All of a sudden, there was someone in my home. And we might have to get the gray cat to fill in. I know. It's ridiculous. I know Stephen's on an iPhone. And let me check my... This is what I get. This is what I get. Give me that box, would you? And the scissors. We're going to open some cool stuff now because I don't... there we go. I got this in the mail today. You're going to like this. I'll share my mail call with you. Why, thank you. And then after you see this mail call, then we'll figure out where Stephen is. You know, it's all kind of wrapped up, but I'll show it to you anyway. Here, hold on. Fucking spinning plates over here. You notice that? Spinning plates. This is a Funko Pop signed by the Fonz, right? How cool is that? You guys fans of the Fonz? I bet you the Fonz wouldn't be late. Anyway, there's that. New addition to the collection, right? And hold on, there's more where that came from. Then we're just going to call him and try to explain it to him together. I don't know what the fuck that is. And don't worry, Stephen PEARCY will be here. Look at this one. This is cool. This is Clark Griswold, just in time for Christmas. How about that, huh? Isn't that nice? Signed by Chevy Chase himself. So I'm happy to share that with you. But to be honest with you, I just had to open my mail. It didn't really matter if you were there. All right, hold on. What kind of problem is he having? You folks just hold on 1 second. Hey, I still don't see you. What? Yeah, okay. Well, you have to, but you but you have to enter the studio. Yeah, I mean, I just did it. It was real easy. You no, sorry. Perfect. Yeah. So check it. Say yes, because I don't see you yet. I can't add you. Just agree with everything it says. Just give in. Well, hold on. Are you on an iPhone? Yeah, but so there should be a thing on the screen that says enter the studio. Mm-hmm. All right, he says he's got it now, but he said I shouldn't tell you all that he. Oh, well, look at this. Is that your new name, Stephen? Here he
Say
is.
what? Hang on.
You waited
All
for
right.
him. He's
Hey,
here.
man, technology sucks.
All right. Now hold on, Stephen.
All right, now I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. How about now?
No.
You hear me?
No.
There's got to be.
Do I have to put a fucking thing in my ear?
Well, you can't hear me at all? I'm projecting.
Well,
I'm
I
project-
can hear you a little bit.
I mean, that's really all you need.
You're
on.
on the show. Everybody can see you. Let me show them my ass.
Hold on, Stephen. I'm gonna. You look good, by the way.
That really helps.
Well, listen.
Does my hair sound good?
Your hair sounds fantastic. It's a visual medium.
I can barely hear you.
But maybe you need the headphone.
I ain't putting those stupid things in my ear.
I'm not either.
They're
Stephen, all right.
upstairs. Yeah, like you're gonna let these people wait any longer?
Yes.
Here, go ahead. Just let's get on with this fucking show.
There's 275 people waiting for you right now, Stephen. 275 people waiting for you right now, Stephen.
Do you want me to use that one?
Well, I mean, you can hear it.
No, no. Oh yeah, I can hear you here. All right, go ahead. I'll
Right.
use.
But now you're going to be on a delay, Stephen.
Oh, that's way delayed.
Now you're going to be on a delay, Stephen.
Yeah, I know. Never mind.
I said that 10
Grab
minutes.
those stupid little headphone things upstairs around them.
I said that 10 minutes. This is
All right,
why-
hang on, man. You fucked up.
How did I fuck up?
Here, hang on.
Oh boy. I promise you he's sober. He's just
Yeah, let me grab those ear things.
he's had a lot of caffeine, I'm thinking.
They're upstairs.
All right.
Upstairs around the mic.
Stephen, a
All
lot
right.
of people have questions for you.
Well, if I could hear them, I'd answer them.
Okay. Well, you heard me. That's a good start. All right. So okay, you got your holiday candles out. That's nice.
Well, I don't want to start a fire.
Yeah. Now, Stephen, just to start, we want to say that you got sick a few weeks ago and you had to postpone a bunch of dates. How are you feeling now?
I feel great. You know, we got through that show, you know, and that meant a lot because it just, you know, told me what was happening here. Hang on. Shit, I should have just kept playing guitar, man.
I'm sure the audience would have been happy just to watch you play guitar.
I don't know why I can't hear you. Hang on.
Okay.
We're
gonna get you some headphones, right?
Well, I guess I don't. We'll see.
All right. Well, you just heard me just fine.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
I hear you fantastic.
Well, I mean, you can hear me. I can't hear you. So hang on.
All right.
Oh,
He just responded to me, so obviously he heard.
you got it?
This is going to be worth the wait,
This
folks.
is a fucking joke. Hang on.
Uh-huh.
It's right there where it usually is, on the lamp. Well, I'm off now.
It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a little dangerous,
Yeah.
right? All right, here, let's talk
Hang
about
on, hang on. This is.
I got it.
Tell everybody I apologize, but
Everyone, he apologizes. Now, listen, if you go to his website, officialstephenpearcy.com, within the next 24 hours and you purchase anything, you will get a free signed CD. So
does
that's
anybody else have these problems?
Yeah, once in a while. Carlos had way bigger problems than you. Way bigger.
Carlos who?
Cavazzo, exactly. He couldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, he had bigger problems.
Put down the hash pipe. Hang on.
I don't know if you can say that.
You gotta be kidding.
What's funny is he hears me. He hears me.
Yeah. All right, goodbye.
Now let's see how we do this time.
All right.
And then we're going to start asking. Now we know a rat is so dysfunctional. A very good point.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here, I'm going to send you. Oh, let me see. All right, go ahead.
All right, Stephen, how's that?
Oh, well, why don't you tell people they got to use that stupid fucking headphone thing?
Not everyone has had to, but it's special with you. But okay, so.
All right.
This is Stephen. These people have great questions. Can you hear?
I can hear you now.
All right, good. Now, Stephen, let's catch up. You were supposed to do a run on the East Coast. I was going to go with you. We were looking forward to it. You got sick. That's what happens. A lot of people are getting it. Luckily, you and your fiance are both better now.
Yes, much better.
We just did a show in Iowa this last weekend, and it was great. And I think the fans were really happy to see you back on stage. And I want to make sure that people know that all the dates that you missed have been rescheduled. And if people go to officialstephenpearcy.com, they can see those dates. And Stephen, I don't want to take up too much of your time with me. I get to sit on planes with you and ask you all my rat questions, but these people have been waiting for hours to ask you about that and more. First, though,
we don't talk about us when we're on planes. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, but listen,
fire
Stephen,
away.
Yep.
Fire away.
Okay, so Stephen, first, I want to say that you're on Cameo. A lot of people are on Cameo. But you have found a new way to reach out to people because you were honest about your cancer survival. When you first were diagnosed, you kept it secret. For about a few years, you didn't tell anybody. But when you came out about it honestly, you touched a lot of people and a lot of survivors and also a lot of people going through it. And I know that people have been corresponding to you and getting messages. So just talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, look, I don't go on there. I just have a kick when I do those. I don't charge an arm and a leg, and I play guitar and fuck around and stuff. But I've been getting quite a few, and it's really interesting for support. And they're in the hospital, and they're this, and one of my best friends going through it. And and I'm a maintenance guy. I have to have maintenance every 3 months. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to, if anybody's beat up, is going through something, not particularly that, I'm not a fucking therapist, don't get me wrong. But I mean, if you're dealing with, somewhat of a cancer thing, I'm very supportive. I mean, one person I know, he's way laid up, and the poor guy, I chat with him almost every day, not in Cameo. I mean, now we email. I'm like, fuck, dude, just email me. I mean, some of these guys, somebody's always got a worse problem than you. So when everybody sits around and bitches and moans, oh, me, oh, poor this, just think about it. Somebody always has it worse. And, regardless of my situation, I'm finding some people, and it's really interesting. And I'm taking advantage of it and being very supportive, being very personal about it with them. And I think that's a great format for me, instead of just, hey, ho, happy birthday, Merry New Year, you know. So it's a good thing. I don't want to get on and on with this. So, but anyway, it's a good thing.
Well, and I can say from knowing you that you are a private person, but you do take the time to listen to people, and you're very supportive. And I think sometimes people see a rock star and they don't see that side of it, and see the connection that you've made with people through what was your private situation.
Sure. I hate that term, by the way. But anyway,
rock star? Is that the one okay.
Yeah. You can call me hair metal as long as you pay me. People are probably going, if he isn't such a, why is he smoking? Well, it's just another addiction. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's chat with some of these freaks.
Well, and I want to say though, speaking of addiction, Stephen, you've never kept your battles secret, but you were out in Iowa, you were as sober as can be. I can attest to it. Fans offer you alcohol, you tell them no thank you. You drink coffee though. And I think sometimes when you have coffee, you have a lot of energy, and people must think, boy, he's got to be on something.
Yeah, I'm on crack. You know, no, I've lost a lot of weight due to my illness or whatever. You know, I mean, I'm fine now, you know, as fine as I could be. You know, I just day to day, you know, I mean, look, we could walk outside of the house, any one of us, and get smashed by a truck and it's all over. So, you know, if you love somebody and your kids or this, give them fucking something, you know, when you leave the house, you never know. So, I mean, it's just not an illness. I mean, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure some people can relate, you know.
Yeah. I think we're all on borrowed time. Nothing's guaranteed. So,
yes.
So, okay, Stephen, so we're going to let some of these fans ask their questions. Friends. I know you don't like the word fan. We call them friends. And so they're going to get their shot. I want to make sure before we do that, officialstephenpearcy.com. This is where you can get the tour dates. New Year's Eve in San Diego, February at the Whiskey. There's a lot more I read. Check those dates out. You can also, for 24 hours during this broadcast, you can go and buy anything on his website, and Stephen's going to sign a free CD for you. So that's a cool thing for the holidays. I want to make sure people know that. Okay,
yeah, there's
and then
some great swag. There's some great swag, and it's like collectible stuff. It's only going to be till the end of the year, and then, you know, Christy designs way cool shit and art and stuff. So it's once in a, you know, it's up there just for a bit. So take advantage of it. Yeah, we're trying to make it, you know, affordable. You know, we know how it is. You know, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was asking people to tell us the songs that they would like to hear in your set that maybe people didn't get to hear. Here is one I agree with. Let me just find these comments. Here we go. Never Use Love. What is the chance that we would ever hear that song?
Never. No, never say never. You know, my catalog is so extensive. I mean, you know, we're barely trying to fit in some solo material. We play arcade now, Nothing to Lose. We want to add something else from arcade. We also, you know, want to dig deeper into my solo catalog. Of course, we're going to lay it down, you know, Take You Round and Round and Lack of This. And we'll give you the ugly three, which is Lack, Lay, Love. And, you know, but I mean, come on, people. I mean, I've got, you know, I'm working on my 6th solo record. Then I'll have more songs, you know. Now, I can't play?
You talk about the ugly three, Lay, Lack, Love. These are songs that are all recorded in D. And a lot of people have wrote in to ask, what was the process to making those songs in that key?
It wasn't a vocal thing. I think when, you know, Juan had something to do with Lack, and everybody else, Warren, Lay It Down. I don't know. It's just the way it is. But then again, you'd have to ask Bo Hill. I mean, look, I just go in there and do my thing, unless I wrote the song. You know, I write a lot of that rap material, but it's up to those guys, the fiddlers, so to speak, you know, what they feel comfortable playing. And I can sing 440. I mean, it's not a problem. You know, I've always had a voice that gets me through the day. And I never really, you know, worry about it. You know, I don't claim to be Pavarotti or one of these singers who are just I just sing, I call it yelling at you. That's how I get off.
You wrote a lot more guitar on the early Rat, including the EP, and that
Sure.
was really your style. A lot of people are seeing you on Cameo playing guitar, playing songs like You Think You're Tough, and realizing that the Rat sound, a lot of it is in your hands, that original style.
Yeah, well, because Mickey Rat, that was all Mickey Rat music. And I mean, even Never Use Love was a Mickey Rat song. In Your Direction, a Mickey Rat song that I probably wrote in like 79, and it ended up on the cellar in 84. So, when those guys just take it from there, we knew what worked, and I got to tell you, Robin had a lot to do with a lot of our music. I did an interview today and we talked about that, how really important Robin Crosby was, to our sound and everything, direction and so to speak. But there you go.
Yeah, that's for sure. People asked a lot of Robin questions too, and one of the questions was, what do you think Robin would be doing now? It's a hard question to answer because of his addiction.
Well, hopefully, you can say this, you can say that, but I mean, that's a personal thing, an addiction. I don't want to get into that because we all have some form of addiction, who knows? Maybe somebody likes eating toilet paper. I don't know. Some of us like dope or something, but I can't, I like being, sobered up, I have other things to worry about, but it's good. It's not the first time that I've, stepped and walked that fine line. I did it and, I did it, but to each his own, you know what I'm saying?
Stephen, you make no apologies. You've always been honest. When you slip and if you fall, you get back up and you move on, and you don't hide. Closer to My Heart, but talking about Robin, that is a song that's coming up like crazy.
Yes.
Sure would love to see you play that at some point.
I would love to play. There are a lot of songs I'd love to play. There's a project we're putting together. It's going to take some time, and it'll actually give me the opportunity to dwell into a lot of the history of per se Rat solo, and it'll start with Mickey Rat, and it'll work its way into the present. And hopefully, I won't say hopefully, it will happen. It's just a matter of time and presentation and a lot of hard work, and I have my hands in all kinds of things. It's just that's my addiction. I have so many things going at once.
Yeah. That's a healthy addiction, though. A lot of people asking, going back to the EP, I'm getting a lot of questions. Is there a chance of seeing that EP re-released at any point?
Yes, you will. Just give me some time and it will be formally out there again. The last time it was really seriously released was on the heels of Out of the Cellar, and that was late 84. It was out in 85, actually on CD when they first came out, released in Japan. They both charted, obviously, when we put it out there. The EP charted, and it was a brilliant thing. But yes, you will see it, I hope, the end of next year. Sorry, kids, but everything's out there anyway. If you want to hear it, I mean, the bootleggers, I mean, come on, it's out there, just not in the best condition,
And two similar questions that are coming up a lot. What about arcade music? Is there any chance of seeing that re-released?
Yeah, like I say, I have my hands in a lot of things, and I love that project with Fred Corey Cinderella and Donnie Syracuse, Frankie, who's in the solo band, and we might have a little surprise for you with the whiskey. I probably just gave it away, but yes, I would like to see the arcade stuff released because I have B-sides, I have unreleased stuff, and talk about bootleg. I have the biggest Mickey Rat. I have everything probably 2-3 times over, recorded differently. So we'll see. Yeah, I would love to.
That's very cool. I didn't know that you collected so much stuff. So that's pretty cool that you have it all in your own archive.
Well, of course, especially if I wrote it, or had a piece in it, and I always do. So yes, I have probably 2-3 versions. What's really interesting is I have some songs, early Rat with Jake doing a solo, with Warren doing a solo, with Chris Hager doing a solo. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, you know. And Eric doing the solo, same song. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah.
And then the question they're also asking is about your solo music. Is there any chance of maybe a box set of your solo releases?
As a matter of fact, there is. I can go up to about Smash next year. So I'm going to hopefully release, it's on the table, and to release my whole solo catalog, except for View, on vinyl, and that'll be next year. Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to, and for people who are watching, there's a lot of rights in these things and other people, and so Stephen is trying to control all his own music, but it takes a minute to make that happen. All right, let's try to get to many of these fan questions, friend questions. Who decided to remove the breakdown intro to the solo of Back for More?
The label, Atlantic, Bo, probably, you know. Yeah, I can dig it. I know what you're saying, because I love the EP version better. It's a lot looser, and the label, they wanted it radio friendly. You know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna say? No, your record's taken off at your second, third single. I you know. So yeah. So
Bo Hill has a lot to say in production and the label, but Bo Hill has been quoted as saying the only 2 bands he did not need to bring in other players was Rat and Winger. The bands played the songs. On a lot of his other projects, he was known for bringing in, sort of ghost musicians. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, oh yeah, definitely, I would agree. I mean, look, we could handle our own, especially back then. I mean, you know, everybody. I mean, Robin, like I say, was a big, and Warren. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, we were all on, talk about 11 or 10. We were on probably 15 back then. We were ready to go. It didn't matter. If Bo said, do this, do that, we were doing it 20, 30 times over, you know. And he would make us do it 20, 30 times over.
Here's a tough question, Stephen. I know this is hard for a songwriter to answer. What's your favorite song you ever wrote or co-wrote?
That's a tough one. Wow.
I mean, I know they're all like your children.
Well, wow. I mean, look, I really loved the EP because it was, you know, it was really the start of my songwriting. And I mean, every now and then I've been releasing, or I'm going to start releasing some Mickey Ratt stuff, and you'll get a clue of where these songs developed and came from. I wrote a lot more and played a lot more, obviously, in Mickey Ratt. But there's so many good songs. I mean, you know, Round and Round, of course, the way that song came about is just crazy. But I love the EP stuff. I really, really do. It's just, you know, wham bam. And
well, I said it earlier. The EP is like a punk band. It's very different than the polished, famous Rat sound. It's raw.
Yeah, that's what I like about the Rat Bastards. We call ourselves, even though it's my band, solo band, but it's just like Mickey Ratt days. We go out there and have a great time. We don't go out there to be slobs or to say, oh, we don't give a shit. Of course we give a shit. We want to sound great every night, but it's so fun because I consider us, you know, punk, not punk, but you know what I'm saying.
Whatever happens.
I mean, what do you call You Got It? You know what I mean? When I wrote that song, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, you know? So, you know.
The question is, whatever happened to the huge white coat you were wearing on the EP?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
A lot of years.
People tell me, I mean, somebody sent me a picture. They were at the Hard Rock in Florida, and they go, hey, there's your fire suit. I didn't know I gave it to the Hard Rock, so I don't know. I really don't know. I have a bunch of stuff in the archives, you know, but that coat, I don't know. I really, if somebody has it, great, you know. I
Question
love giving that shit away. I love making that stuff available, actually.
Yeah, which was really cool. Question that we get
Yeah.
all the time. You were talking about it on the plane. How close were you to Milton Berle? Talk about your connection to Milton Berle.
Our connection with Milton Berle was our manager, Marshall Berle, was Uncle Milty. It was his uncle. And we got tight with him. He was a great guy, man. And he had stories to tell, but a very smart guy. And all I remember about him when he came into the videos, man, don't take shit so seriously. You know, and then when videos were so fresh back then, and people, you know, I mean, look, video MTV came out in like 81, I believe, 80,
I think
something
so.
like that. 81, 82. I mean, you know, you had Duran Duran, you had all these other people before you had the Rats and the Motleys and the whoever, you know. But all I remember about Milty, man, he was a way professional. He took over that video for Round and get out of our way. Get out of my way. I know what I'm doing. Mr. Television. I mean, Elvis, that was the first show Elvis Presley ever did was a Milton Berle show. Oops. So, yeah, and he always said, you know, don't take things so seriously. You know, I mean, take it seriously, but, you know, tongue in cheek, man. There's no time for that bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
And we did.
I think the younger people might not realize now people think of Rat as a hard rock band or a hair metal band, but they don't realize that in 1984, Rat was coming on MTV in between Madonna and
Sure.
Duran Duran and every other massive
Springsteen. Yeah. Christy knows some good stuff about that, doing homework. But yeah, you'd be surprised, you know. Yeah, MTV when it came about was a whole new form. It was like, what? I mean, look, you know, Van Halen reared their monster's head in 78, 79. There was no MTV. The minute Dave got a hold of that, man, he just went for it, you know, and or a lot of those bands, you know, they were ahead of the game. They were much prepared for it. We weren't. We were just like, oh, okay, now we've got to act. It's cool though, and Wanted Man, you know, that was great. You know, getting on, you know, pretending to be a cowboy, you know.
Yeah, and this was sort of ahead of its time. Bands later probably copied that video 100 times over. Okay, we got to get to the question that everyone wants, and then we'll move past that and get some of these really deep questions. But I'm doing an interview. Someone sent me the questions. They said, which reunion is most likely to happen? Will Chipson and Donnie V get back together? That was one. Will Tracy Guns and Steve Riley and their LA Guns, will they get back together? And then finally, will we ever see 3/5 of Rat together? That's what they're settling for. I had to really think hard about it. I went with the Enough's Enough guys, but I don't know. Could we actually see 3 members of Rat together?
Right now, for the next who knows how long, I doubt. But hey, I've opened the door. I will not let the band Rat record a record. I would love everybody to be involved, you know. And but you know what? Let's take a step back here, kids. First of all, I said it a long time ago, and I don't know if people get this or not. Unfortunately, when Robin was not in the scene, you know, and he was going through his trip, and then he wasn't even in the band, that was, to me, I hate to say it, the end of that era. To have us hang around that long and, you know, another platinum record. Oh, another platinum record. It's just mind-boggling. You know, oh, you got to do another record. Got to do a record. I mean, we self-imploded a long time ago, man. You know, I'm lucky. We're lucky that, you know, maybe 1 or 2 other Rats didn't, you know, lose it, but we were close. But my point is, you know, we can go through the motions. We can have great guitar players. No disrespect to any of these players. I mean, you know, we've had great guys, and you know, and that's all great, but to me, Rat is not Rat without Robin, and there's nothing that's gonna, not even money is gonna make me believe any different. You know, I'd rather go out and do my thing and get off on that. But is there any chance? What did the Eagles say? When hell freezes over? Well, who knows? You know, I mean, look, I would love it. I mean, it would be great. One last rodeo. But look, man, I don't sit around waiting for anybody, number one. And number two, you know, do you really want to present what you did in '84, 37, 8 years later, which I was reminded of by Christy again? Hey, you know, you guys been together for like 37, 8 years. I mean, that's you know, we're lucky to be alive. You know? So, but the fact that we are, Jason, it would be great. And you guys out there, no disrespect, man. I fucking love playing our songs any chance I can get. But I got other fish to fry, man. And you know, if I can't get off, you're sure as hell not going to get off. You know, it's like, you know, I don't want to get into weird shit, but you know, we'll see, man. You know, we'll see.
Steven, did you have any regrets about the last lineup of Rat? Did you feel like maybe using the Rat name with that didn't really work out?
Well, you know, like I say, I don't want to disappoint anybody because everybody, you know, you guys have the same hopes as me. Oh, can you guys get out there and just do it one more time? Fuck, I would love to answer each and everybody and say, you know, let me have a little chat with you. You know, it's not up to me. You know, all I can do is say, doors open. You know, I got my shit together, you know.
You notice you didn't answer the question about that last lineup.
Yeah, right. No, it was good players, definitely, man. Oh yeah, man. Frankie, who just pulled in recently, came from David Lee Roth. The guy's fucking amazing. Jordan's great, you know. But I mean, these guys, you know, I can see where they're going already. And they're talented, you know. It's like even going back to a Cavazo, great player. I would rather see Carlos and Quiet Riot than fucking Rat. Give me a break.
I'm with you. Yes.
You know, I mean, so let's be logical about this bullshit here. You know, I just get tired of bullshitting people when I can just go, no, it'll never happen. I still have hopes. I still say, fuck, man. You know, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Warren and I, we wrote one of our best songs that, we'll see if it sees the light of day. It's not really a rock tune, but it's Rat. It's about as Rat as can be. And I love his playing, man. I mean, when Warren and I get together, there's some magic shit going on. But you know what? To each his own, man. I don't know what the cat's up to. You know what I mean? You know, but it would be cool. You know, it would be way cool, actually.
Well, I'd say to everybody watching, because if the people watching, I think just like you, I'm a fan. I sit there and tell Steven, you got to get Warren involved in some capacity. I say the same thing I say.
Yeah, well, you're asking the wrong guy. My door.
Steven's up for it. Yeah. Steven is up for it is the answer.
Now watch, this will be like news to the world. Oh, Steven says blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, right. Okay.
Well, we need Warren to pick up the phone. He's not picking it up for me.
Yeah, he ain't picking it up for me either, pal.
So, yeah, but Steven is open to it, and as he has said, he's not going to do that lineup and call it Rat again. If you want to hear Rat music, Steven's playing. He is the voice of Rat. Yeah. He plays the songs that you want to hear. And I can honestly say, as an outsider, but someone who's worked with members of Rat, there is far less drama in the world of Stephen Pearcy than there is in the world of Rat.
Yeah, well, put it this way. Let's put it this way, kids. I don't care if you're 50. We'll get to that in a minute. 60. You grew up with us. Now, you know, you see me and another guy in Rat, and you're going to say that's Rat? No. Let's not bullshit ourselves, kids. You know, there was Warren in there and Bobby in there. I mean, look, Bobby and I just reconnected. all right, we're like brothers. We can fight and shit, and it's all good at the end of the day now. Look, we're not getting any younger, man. And I can only, as far as this topic that we'll fucking move on is without Robin, there's the main element going. So I hold that very close and dear, Robin Crosby, man. And we can get away with it. It can sound great and it's fucking cool. We have great guitar players, a great this guy, great that guy. Look, they went out without me. I mean, was that Rat? People saw the marquee. They didn't fucking know. And so be it. But I will not do a record unless it's the original guys. That would be brilliant. As far as the band, I don't know, man. Like I say, knocking on the wrong door there. You gotta
we can only badger Steven so much because he's open to it.
That's what I do. That's why I'm doing what I do. You want to hear me play my shit? Then here I am.
I see people saying they'd love to see you do a thing like Dokken with George Lynch. I've said that.
Well,
I've said that to Steven as well.
Oh, that's not bullshit. Again, here, I would not even do that to our audience or the real hardcore fans because I think that would be really, giving them a kick in the ass. Why? I mean, that would be like, and we did this, that would be like me going out and playing guitar halfway through the set. Why? That's not Rat. Mm-hmm. That's Mickey Rat, but that's not Rat. So no. Stop it, people.
Yeah. Somebody does make a good point though. If Rat doesn't reunite, Bobby's gonna have to drive an Uber.
No. Hey, look, Bob's cool, man. Hey, look, we're forever Rats, like it or not, man. Mm-hmm. It's in the books. I don't sit around and think about how many records I sold. I could give a shit. I just keep moving forward and have a great time, and I dig what I do still.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to do it for as long as he can and into the next year. So if you go to officialstephenpearcy.com, you will see December 31st in San Diego, February 11th at the Whiskey. And
yes.
Pittsburgh.
San Diego's going to be great. San Diego's going to be cool. We haven't been there in a while. And my battery's running low, so let's go.
Okay, he's giving you your warning. You guys better get some questions in fast because his bet. And by the way, Steven's a lot more fun at 2 a.m. when no one is listening. If you want really good Rat stories, you got to get him at 2 a.m. when no one's around. And then
I know. I am totally nocturnal, dude. I mean, if people don't get that by now. I mean, look, no pun intended. I'm a Rat, man.
A lot of people saying they love Arcade. They wanted to hear more from Arcade. He's given you a little hint that if you show up at the Whiskey, there's going to be a treat for Arcade fans. He can't tell you much more about it.
Yes, he will. Well, Frank's already in. You know what I mean? He's already in the soul band. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I just like having a good time. I don't want to do this for another fucking 4 years. I got other shit to do. And it involves music, production, other things. And that's what turns me on. If you like, I'm sure you'll like it,
Steven's got a great solo band. I want to make sure I point that out. I got to know these guys when we were out doing it. Frankie Wilsley was in a band called Sea Hags. Really, it was a wild band produced by Mike Klink. A lot of drug problems tore that band up before it even got off the ground. But Frankie's a great guitar player. Eric Ferentinos has been in the band with Steven for ages also. Another great guitar player, really plays the parts well and also co-writes much of Steven's solo music. Jerry Montano is playing bass right now. And he was in Hell Yeah, Danzig, Nothing Face. He's really done a lot of stuff as well. And a really solid bass player. Doesn't do as much dancing as you might be used to. Question here, has Juan ever bumped into you while dancing on stage?
Oh, God. Let's not go there.
All right. I try to get him in. So look, this is your chance. It's either this or you can go to a Cameo and you can talk to him there. But let's see what else people want to know. People still saying you're awesome. They love seeing you. Someone's saying, please come to Philadelphia. Well, we are. It's close enough. He'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I won't hear him. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So you can do that. Just people asking where they want to see you, and I'm telling them that they can go to officialstephenpearcy.com.
Yeah, go to officialstephenpearcy.com, and while there's other stuff going down in the cellar. You know, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'll be. I'm out there. I mean, look, like I say, everybody, I still have a great fucking time out there. And, you know, now it's become, for me, it's become more of a like, hey, I remember you. Oh, okay, hey, let's fucking party tonight. You know, you drink, I'll just yell at you, you know. So I still have a great time, man, you know, and that's all I can do while I'm up here alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Question: did you like touring overseas?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I would love to go back to Japan and definitely do a festival in Europe, but everything's so different now. You know what I mean? I might have to bring the world to me next 2 years. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Keep your eyes and your ears and eyes open, kids.
Yeah, a lot of questions about Wanted Man. One, what made you write it? And the other one is, where was the video filmed?
The video, if I'm correct, Old Tucson or something like that. That song was written by Joey Cristofanelli. Our bass player sat in for a bit when Juan was teeter-tottering and docking, right? So we pulled Joey in. And me, Robin, and Joey just threw that song together. I mean, some of the best songs happen real fast, and that's one of them, just like Round, you know.
Okay. A lot of just people saying that modern rock stars don't have the personality that you, the persona that you did. A lot of people complimenting you. And yeah, Stephen, you were a front man before this was even a thing. You know what I mean? You were ahead of that rock and roll game.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. I don't know if too many people know. I'm actually the next book, my next book, I'm going to be getting into. It's going to dwell more on the musicians and the spider web of cats coming in and out, and what created this thing we call Rat, and I called Rat, and even aforementioned the guys who played after. You know, and it's going to be more involved with that instead of the 3 Ps, you know, and if anybody knows us, they know what the 3 Ps are, you know, but it's going to be more, you know, technical stuff like this, you know. I mean, you know, there's a lot going on. So,
well,
you know, it ain't over yet.
You have a virtual thing coming soon in the new year where people can get you to play their parties or their events virtually, have a Q&A with you.
Yeah, that's cool. That is a good thing. And it all started because of this COVID thing. We just took it a step further, you know, to make it available, interactive. Hey, how you doing? Okay. You could even pick your own set list. I mean, that's what the solo band can do.
Good, Stephen. Can I hear What You Give Is What You Get?
That's a good song.
Okay.
There's a lot of songs we don't play.
How about
I gotta tell you.
How about You Should Know By Now, Stephen? Can we get that one?
If you ask for it and you want the depends on what package you buy, you know. But
right.
Sure, you pick the set list and it's
how about
yours.
Never Use Love, Stephen? Never Use Love?
I would love to play that. I mean, like I say, I got Jakey playing that song. I've got, you know, obviously Warren and us, and oh, I love that song. That song goes back to Mickey Rat, 1979. Yeah,
incredible how much it holds up. I like some of the pop ones, like Looking for Love. Also,
I like that. I like Giving Yourself Away. Now, look, you know, that song, how that came about with Diane Warren and Desmond, was crazy, and it was written pretty quick. But we used to play it, and I just don't know what happened. You know, where it fell out of place. I mean, Looking for Love, all kinds of great songs, man. You know, I still like rap music. Come on, you know, I would love to play so many B-sides, you know, I really would. And that's what I can do with the solo band. You know what I mean?
Here's one I'd like to know. Do you still talk to Jakey Lee?
No, I don't. I wish him well. I get a lot of questions myself if he would, you know, play in Rat. It's like, well, shit. I don't know. Ask Warren. You know, if Warren comes back, that's his call, not mine.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. There's some great guys out. I mean, shit, Lynch and Jakey but Jakey was a rat in the beginning anyway. Except he was a one guitar guy. Hence Ozzy. But yeah.
Closer to my heart, one of the most underrated Rat songs. I agree. It's the closest thing to a ballad at that point on those original albums that Rat put out. And Robin's playing is incredible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Robin had a lot to do with a lot more than people think. He just wasn't Robin King Crosby. He was the shit, man. He lived and breathed Rat. And when that went away, it's kind of like, you don't have all 8 cylinders firing, no matter how you try. And it's unfortunate, but that's how I personally feel. That's a personal thing with me because he was my right-hand man in creating Rat. We hit the streets together, and we put a lot of time into developing what everybody got in 1983,
Yeah.
So,
question is, was Lynch asked to play in Rat at any point?
Yes, he was. I
Lynch,
actually wanted him to play in Rat. I think he'd be crazy. I mean, me and George actually re-recorded a bunch of Mickey Rat and Rat songs, and that guy's a motherfucker, man. He is so good. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Why is he playing half a set or 4 songs? He should be, playing the full set.
George told me a story that I want to ask you. He said there was a time when Warren left the band and he went to Dokken, and George was in Rat for a short amount of time rehearsing in the same place. Do you remember that?
If it was back then, probably not. But that's a good one. I have better stories than that having to do with Motley. It'll be in the next book, man. The Gladiators and what really went down. I didn't get there with Nothing to Lose, but then Nothing to Lose was the rockumentary we just did was just out, the incarnation of this beast Rat, and how it got started.
Ongoing.
But
The Nothing to Lose documentary is ongoing. As I said, Stephen, even with your book, your story is far from written. There's so much more to go.
That is true. And I got to tell you, Bobby and I, for his birthday, he came in. He was in Vegas with his son. And we all went out to dinner. And the stories that went down at that table were, it's like, I didn't even remember. But Bobby's got a great fucking memory. I'll tell you right now, man. That cat's got some funny shit. And you're like, really? I mean, even when I wrote my book, I couldn't remember half the shit that was going on back then. But hey, it's only rock and roll, man. Or rat and roll, should I say.
People asking about unreleased songs. That's coming up a lot. Will we see Can't Stop You Now?
Well,
no one can stop you now.
There's a song, Reach for the Sky, that I co-wrote with Mark Tureen when he was in the band for a minute, and Robin. Amazing song. We actually demoed it as we were doing Out of the Cellar. When we went in to work on the Out of the Cellar songs, that song, Reach for the Sky, and another one called I Won't Lose, which I don't think it turned into Morning After, but it's quite possible. But this song, Reach for the, I had it up earlier, actually, on my computer. So, hey, you just hit a nerve with me. Yeah.
There's a lot to hear. This is a tough one also, but a good question. Do you have a greatest memory of Robin?
Oh, tons and tons. We were very tight. Like I say, he was so instrumental with creating the whole trip. And then when we finally got all the elements, we just went crazy. One of the best stories is before I run out of juice. Mm-hmm. The best stories is KMET, a couple stations in Los Angeles, KMET and KNAC and some other station there. We were coming home from the Strip at about 2:30 something in the morning, something like that. And there's You Think You're Tough, right? We're like, whoa, shit, we're on the radio. We've told this story. And then we go to the other station and we look at each other and we go, holy shit, we're on both of these stations. And, you know, shit like that happens. That's once in a lifetime. You know what I mean? I've got, man, a lot of stories with my brother. He's always here. He's hanging right there. He hangs out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Question is thoughts on John Kalodner?
John Kalodner. I think John Kalodner is a brilliant instigator, man. You know, kind of Rick Rubinish. You know, they know what they got an ear. You know, you hear something, you know right away. I can do something with that. You know, and yeah, Kalodner's a great guy, man. That was a trippy record, I must say. I don't like everything Rat has done, believe me. I'm sure the other guys don't either. You know, we got close with Infestation, but it wasn't a real thing. There was no Robin, man. And I'm sorry if I got to keep saying that, but fuck, man. You know, people were in my shoes and you grew up together creating this thing and you had this dream and then it happens and you lose your right hand man. I mean, all of us in the band felt the same way. You know, we lost a big element of the band. And I ain't talking 6'5", you know, good looking blonde dude, you know. It was a big part of our whole trip, you know.
Yeah. And of course, people want to know. Yeah, of course, people want to know about the past. We're fans. We love the music. A lot of us grew up, myself included, grew up with Rat.
Yeah.
I can tell you from spending the weekend with Steven and the guys that you do get to hear the music played with respect and hear Steven still singing the songs as great as ever. It's really fun. And he's talking about different ways to get into it, even after the show. He wants to get more of the solo music. He wants to get the arcade. Yeah. Rat's catalog is insane. When you look at a Rat catalog, it's a very difficult thing to pick hits. And as we know, when you go to certain places, they want to hear Round and Round and Lay It Down. They don't know everything.
It's like that show the other night. It's like that guy in the audience who was yelling out shit. And I'm like, this guy can't see the set. But he was like yelling out these songs. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the next song. And then he does it again. I'm like, oh, this is fucked up. He just said the second song. So, I mean, that trips me out. I have more fun now. You know, it's not just the alertness. It's just with the people. You know, I mean, I get a lot of cameos also lately, and it's like I'm 50. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I decided I'm going to title one of my songs 50 and talk about, you know, my friends, our friends, you know.
Steve, James is 15 years old. He's a guitar player. He wants to know if you can give him any advice on how to play rock and roll for a living. Tough question.
Well, play it for a living. Well, I don't know if you expect to make a dime, but there are ways to do it these days. I mean, there's so many ways to get your music out, get your music to pay you, you know. It takes a lot of work. But to do it for a career, you have to be very committed. I would say to anybody, I feel some of these new bands I really feel bad for, even though they're successful for the minute and whatever. I mean, to see these guys hang out for 10, 20, 30 years, good fucking luck. It seems that only the guys in the 80s and some in the 70s, the Cheap Tricks and the this and that, the Priest and whatever, but a lot of bands are falling by the wayside. But the guys who have hung around really tell you where it's at, you know, especially if you can keep a band together. I'm not talking about, you know, losing a guy or this or that. I mean, just to have a band around for that long is you should give yourself kudos.
Absolutely, Stephen. I
put
can't
it this way: don't lose your day job.
Yes, that's the best advice. To thine own self be true. Do it because you love it, not because you want to be rich. But I can't think of many bands that are out now that we'll be talking about in 10 or 20 years. They might be good, might be great, but will they have longevity?
I wish any. I mean, look, through my daughter, I've met a lot of these new bands, and they're fucking great. I mean, I listen to everything. But do I think a lot of these bands will be around? I don't think so, because the whole system has changed. The whole business has changed. The theatrics, the inside, the guts. There's, the cookie cutter thing that went down in the mid 80s, so to speak. These guys got to really be committed. If you want to hang around, you better be committed, man. And that's called writing songs, getting out there, and never giving up, man. Just play.
Some of
just
the guys
like we had to do, just like we had to do.
Some of the guys in Rat probably should have been committed, but that's another subject.
Yeah, including myself. But I got out of that.
Possibly,
I got away.
Stephen, you were the ultimate rock and roll survivor. The fact that you're out there busting your ass every night and doing it sober. As I said to the audience, it's not easy. You should support these bands when they come to your city, because it took a lot of flights to get there. Stephen's got 2 replacements. Sure. He's a cancer survivor. You know what I mean? So,
boo-hoo. Hey, look. Bottom line is like, hey, man, it's like when I was hanging with Sammy, talking to Jason, first thing we started talking about is him going, I'm 20 years sober. I'm like, holy shit. To each his own, man. Look, I can sit there and chat with somebody and go, hey, drink a shitload of that for me, or smoke that for me, or do the. I just have a great time. I still love people, man. And while I'm still doing this, I'm going to enjoy myself and give it all I got. And I have the right guys to do it. We'll see what happens on the Rat end of the stick. And we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
I see it. You've got a great partner in Christy. You guys are so happy to travel together and do things. You're up early, drinking coffee.
It's business. Yeah, it's business. It's not just pleasure, my friend. That's one great thing. If you can have a partner in crime and, to each his own, man. That's a brilliant thing, because I'll tell you what, you never know what you're getting with your bandmates, man. You never know. You might just be hanging out together because they keep giving you fucking platinum records and millions of dollars. But anyway, we're having a great time.
Yes, and you're doing great. Question about coming to Canada in 2022. It's not a question you can really answer. I'm sure he'd love to come.
Oh, I would love to go out. It's been a long time, man. Shit. I'd love to go to Alaska again. Come on, Japan, anywhere and everywhere. There are places that we haven't played.
Stephen's got good management. Paul Gargano from Metal Edge Magazine, Sullivan Big is booking gigs. So there are good people behind this. And
most of all, go to officialstephenpearcy.com and find out the poop, because I'm counting down and I see that little 5. So if I'm
all right. Well, here's a great question though. Can Christy play guitar? That could really make things easier.
She can play bass. She sang on a couple of the songs on View, some backup shit. It's great, man. I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of, look, I can't wait to record this next record. We did an interview today for San Diego, Eric and I. We couldn't get off the topic. And eventually when we got on the phone after the interview, it's like, we got to go in and record a new song. Like immediately. We have so many. I literally could have put out a double record, but I'll leave it at 15 songs and see where it goes. Yeah. A lot going on. And I can do 20 things at once, but I can't execute them all at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so Stephen's at 5%, which means you either got to have a really amazing question or you're going to run out of time. I'm going to point out that if you go to officialstephenpearcy.com right now, you can buy merchandise. In the next 24 hours, Stephen is going to sign a CD for free. It comes with what you order. He's also available. He's also available on Cameo. People have been asking you to pick up the guitar the whole time, so.
Oh yeah, well, I was playing earlier, sitting here waiting, jacking off, waiting for you to get on the fucking thing. Oh, she turned me off, but it's all good, man. I'll tell you what, I play this thing way too much these days. It's like I'm total writing mode. And Eric, Jesus Christ, he's ready to go. I think everybody's ready to go. You will hear a new song within the next few months, without a doubt. Maybe 2. We put out some COVID tape songs, so we'll see.
And Stephen has hinted to me that there is going to be new music that you've never heard, unreleased tracks. He's going to release stuff, and so that is coming.
Yeah.
Don't, it's just far from over. Here's the link to Steven's website. Everything is also in the description. So this is your
Yeah.
chance. And if you enjoy this show, you'll see my tour diary later in the week of what it's like being on the road. Steven is funny and he's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time. And then
Yes.
also, you'll catch me out working with Steven on the road. I got to tell you, it's an honor to be around him. The
Oh,
stories
we have a blast. We have a blast out there, man.
we have good laughs, good fun. It's definitely not like the old days. It's everybody's having a good time.
Not
And
at all.
I've worked with a lot of different rats. So many that I thought I should get a job as an exterminator. But of all the rats, Steven is definitely my favorite, and the real deal, and the original voice. And he's keeping that torch alive.
There you go. There's a Carlos Cavazzo pick right there. Bang your head.
Look at that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of good shit in. Oh, it's fun. You got to find the right pick. You know what I'm saying?
Do you like the Carlos pick?
Here, wait. There you go. There you go. Rocking with Dockin.
Nice. Is that a George pick, though, or is that like the lawyer guy?
The lawyer guy. See, that's what I'm talking about. George, get your ass in that band and stay there, man.
I've got the Waste Some Time with Jason Green pick right there. That's
you got a Chuck Brennan rock and roll trip. That was cool. There you go. Matt Thorne right there. MT Studios. This is our home away from home.
We had Matt on. So I think Steven's had enough. A lot of people are saying come to their city. Obviously, that will happen at some point. People are asking for Detroit.
Yes.
These are
or if you want to, pick your own set and have us play your private gig. Hey, check out officialstevenpearcy.com. Do a little research, and we'll see what happens.
Steven, I want to thank you for doing this. It's hard to get you to sit still and just
I'm Yancey right now. I am so Yancey. It's ridiculous. And I'm not even done having coffee yet.
Yeah, I was just going to say the coffee is beginning to kick in. What pick is that?
I don't know. It's hard for me to find the right pick. It's got to be just right. Anyway.
Yeah,
thank you guys. I totally appreciate it. I fucking totally appreciate this. And I love playing, yelling at you, and all this great shit. So, you know what? Hey, if you want to rat and roll, come check me out. And my rat bastards will take care of business, and we'll see what happens on the other side.
The question is, how long is the autograph CD? It's for the next 24 hours from now. So if you want to do it, go to his website and buy it, and he'll sign it for you. People are saying thank you for this early Christmas present. People really like spending time with you. I can tell you that Steven is a genuine person. This is not me just saying it because he's here. I've talked to him privately. I spend time with him. What you give is what you get. He believes in what he does.
There you go.
And he wants to give you guys a good show and keep rocking. And he's doing it. I promise you. You come out, you won't be disappointed. I've seen Steven in all different shapes.
And I'll always ask you if my hair sounds good first, kids. All right, just give me the right answer.
Steven, what are the plans for Christmas?
Plans for Christmas is have a great time with the family and the kids and this and that and our animals. And I wish everybody a great Christmas. If I don't see you on New Year's, have a fucking great New Year's Eve. Stay alive, please. Don't be a fucking dummy and drive all loaded and shit. And hey, sit at home and get fucked up and do what you do. Look, Ted Poley. Yeah, all right. But anyway, yeah, man, I'm having a great time.
Steven, I look forward to seeing you very soon and seeing you a lot in 2022. And we'll keep reminding people. Oh, look at that. What a rock star ending. We should have played him off. Again, I want to thank everyone for watching. And it is hard. He drinks coffee and getting to sit still and answer questions. He also does not like to talk badly about people, even though some people probably deserve to be talked badly about. Is not what he does. If you're wondering why I don't push him on certain topics about certain people, it's because it's not my interview, it's Steven's interview, and these are his opinions and who he wants to be around and things like that. I respect him very much for his stance on Rat. He plays it nice and easy, but I'm glad that he is not going to cheapen the brand. I think that there were some decisions that were made on the last version of Rat that maybe Steven, his health got in the way. And I don't think that that mistake will happen again. And he is loyal to making fans happy. And I think he does not want to put out a product that is not Rat. That doesn't mean that people he's played with were not talented. They were. But to call them Rat, I think it might be a stretch. This is me talking, not Steven. But anyway, I'm glad you got to spend some time with him. He can be a little high-strung sometimes. And it's great. When I was filming the tour diary, and I hope you guys will watch it, there was times I go, people are going to think he's drinking because they have to cart us through these airports to get our connecting flights. We almost missed a few flights. And he's funny. We were in Minneapolis, and he's singing Prince songs from this golf cart as we drive to the airport. And I said, people are going to think he's drinking. And I can promise you he is not. He is a rock and roll survivor. And I see a lot of people saying he looks good for his age. And that is true. We should all hope if you live as hard as Steven has lived, just to get on that stage every night. And he doesn't like to talk about his private things. If I had cancer, I promise you, I want a parade. I'm going to tell everyone. If I think there's even a remote chance I may pass away, oh my God, please send me gifts, take me places. Let's live it up. But Steven chose to be private and deal with it on his own terms. And the only reason that he spoke out about it was because he wanted to educate others to go get blood tests and to go get checked so that other people don't get sick. He generally cares about people. He talked a little bit about his cameos. I can tell you, he has met people that he talks to privately, tries to give pep talks, tries to help motivate people. That's the kind of guy that he is. It's hard to see that when you look at a rock star, even though he doesn't like the word, he's a rock star. He is motivated to help others, and myself included, by the way. And I've told this in my interview with him, which you can go back and watch. I went through a particularly difficult time, and Steven was there, and he's very spiritual, and he gives very good advice, and he is a good he's a good guy. And so I'm glad you stayed with me for almost 2 hours. And I'm sorry that we had the technical difficulties. I probably should have done a test run with him. But anyway, I hope I got to as many of your questions as I could. I got a little overwhelmed. Here's a funny question. Does Steven indulge in ice cream sandwiches? Well, I don't know about ice cream sandwiches, but I've learned that he likes a good root beer float. He's very much like a kid. He's a big kid. When we got to the hotel in Iowa, the first thing he did is went to the gift shop and found ice cream and root beer and went to his room, and he was excited. And when we were ordering off the menu, he was very he was very excited that he would get a root beer float, not alcohol. So I think you should know that. And he is, I think he is a survivor for sure. And by the way, I want to point out, thank you to all of you who came over and said hello to me at the Iowa show. It's funny. I'm now the YouTube dude. It's a funny thing how it works. People, they recognize the members of the band, and they say, "Wait a second, you're the YouTube dude." And I guess I've been called worse in my life than the YouTube dude. So people asking me to interview Yngwie. We've went from Warren DeMartini, who is hard to get a hold of, to Yngwie Malmsteen, who was probably hard to talk to. I would do it. I would do it. How many times have you seen Rat live? That's a good question. Well, what do you define as Rat? Because if you're asking have I seen Rat with Robin Crosby, unfortunately, I did not. I did meet them at a in-store at HMV Records in New York City, and it was pretty much the end of Robin's run. Maybe there was weeks left. So I did meet him, and I do have a signed photo from Robin. But and then I saw various versions of Rat many times over the years. I've seen some fake Rats over the years. I've worked with some fake Rats over the years. I can tell you that I am happier to work with Stephen PEARCY as a solo artist. How was the show? Did you like it? I'm asking you. Yeah, it's good? Okay. I have a live audience, live in front of an audience. I want to remind you all, please come back tomorrow for the Christmas party. We're going to let loose and have some Christmas fun. We're going to spread some holiday cheer. And the other thing about this Christmas party is that people are going to just come and go. And some will know how to log in, and maybe some won't. But I want you to come in. Hold on. Really enjoyed my interview with Mark Kendall and George Lynch. Those were both really good. I did Mark Kendall. You're asking me to interview Mark Kendall? It's on the channel. It's a great interview. He's very honest. Will I ever interview Sebastian Bach? Sebastian Bach is a really strange topic. I consider him a friend, and I've gone to his house and we've hung out, and I like him a lot, and I've booked him to do things, but I haven't heard from him in a while, even though he lives in Las Vegas now. Sometimes I wonder if he's mad about certain guests that I've had on. He takes things personal, but when the time comes, I will reach out to him. So we're almost out of time. Axl Rose, that's a good one. I'd like to have Axl Rose on. Crazier things have happened. I feel like I want Izzy Stradlin. I'll be honest with you. Forget Axl Rose. Let's get Izzy Stradlin. No one has got that interview. I'm ready to go camp out in Ojai, and I think that guy's got something to say. You know what I mean? But he wants the right person to say it. I think some of these other interviewers maybe wouldn't know the right questions, and he doesn't have to do anything. You talk about a guy who's got a great life. I just wrote the majority of Guns N' Roses' good music, and now I sit around and lay out of the limelight. Jason Newsted is a good choice, and he probably would do it. So there's a lot of these guys that you're asking for that I hope. We had an alleged Tim Skold in the room. I can't authenticate if that was Tim Skold. We tried. My crack staff. Any luck? No. So we're not sure. Maybe it was him. If it was, he should email me at theworldofjasongreen@gmail.com. Wrapping this up, make sure you go visit my Patreon and support. It really is thankful. And again, tomorrow I'll do all the sappy year-end stuff. And I promise you, I'm going to go through my phone tonight, my Rolodex, if you will, and I am going to hit up everybody I know, and I'm going to say, you should come by for Christmas and say hello and whatever, and exchange presents. And I think we are going to have a really fun Christmas party. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Eastern, that is 9 o'clock. And Central Time, I think that's a lot of help you are. What, 7? 8? It's something else. So Eddie Trunk interviews dudes from Skids, and Bass doesn't hate him. I'm going to explain that. One, I'm not sure the people I'm talking about are Skid Row. There's people that he has issues with more. But I will also tell you that Eddie Trunk reaches a big audience, and people still need Eddie Trunk. They don't all need me yet. If you guys subscribe and make this channel the biggest thing in the world, which I am aiming for it to be, then people will have to come on. You know what I'm saying? Please watch my interview with John Bush coming up next from Armored Saint and Anthrax. And there is so many others to come. I didn't even get into my stories about Jake Ely and the Vegas locations that him and Warren DeMartini hang out at. They like a place called Love It Custard. They say it's the best custard. We got to go to Love It Custard. And the other place is, I believe it's called Bocce Burger, and they have this Japanese hot dog that Jake Ely raves about. And he took Warren to these places, and they loved it. And now I got to talk Steven into going to Love It Custard. I think Steven would love some Love It Custard. I got a hunch. And then as far as Blotzer, no, I don't think Blotzer would be on the show. I don't think he's a good person. Steven can tell you what he wants and say that they're brothers. He's putting on the good thing for everyone, and that's nice. I don't like the guy. I've worked with the guy. The guy's a bad person. He's got a bad private life. And so I have issues with, I can't bow down and take back what I've said and what he did. There's nothing good about that guy. And so to quote Mark Twain, fuck him. Anyway, there will not be any interview with him on this show. And I personally don't think, if you guys want to know what I think of a Rat reunion, I'm sure Steven's logged off. He's having a root beer float. It's not going to happen. Maybe you will see Steven and Warren. I'm going to try Warren every day. Maybe you will see, maybe like a Plant Page. Who knows? Maybe they'll work together. I don't think you're going to see Juan again. And I don't think you're going to see Blotzer again. And there's so much drama and lawsuits. Steven doesn't get into it. He's doing business privately. He can't tell you all the things. that are going on. Ron Jeremy, that would be a great interview. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Ron Jeremy will be doing interviews. Rachel Boland could be good. I'm talking to Rob Affuso. No one's put me off more than Rob Affuso. Every week, this guy I want to do the interview, and I think he wants to do it too, but he gets very, very busy. Tomorrow's the holiday Christmas party, and then again after that, I am going to do an interview, a piece, RATT, not a Carmine piece, but a piece, RATT versus Motley Crue. Who's the better band? I know I'm slightly biased, but I think song for song, one of those bands is better than the other. And I think musician for musician, obviously, I think one of those bands is better. One of the things that's hard for me doing this show is I give my opinion. And sometimes you're going to piss somebody off. Sometimes I'm going to say something that you don't agree with, and you're going to unsubscribe, and you're going to say, fuck that guy. And maybe I like one member of a band, but I think why you watch this is because you like that I don't bullshit you. I'm telling you what I think, and we don't have to agree, and that's okay. But I've never bullshitted you guys, and I tell you who's, what I think, and that is why this show is authentic. And I thank you. We had a record amount of people here tonight. Obviously, you came to see Steven. I hope that it delivered for you, and please subscribe, like, comment, share it with your friends. All of these people who are asking, Donna from L7, these are all people that I would love to have on my show. And I appreciate all of your kind words. I'm glad you stayed with me for over 2 hours. I didn't prepare. I thought Steven will come on and I'll just let him take over, but he had some technical difficulties. A lot of people are asking about Wolfgang Van Halen. Of course, I would have a Wolfgang Van Halen on. I don't know if I can get him. We have to build this show. You know what I'm saying? CJ Snare. I know CJ, and I think he would do it. I've had Bill Leverty on the show from Firehouse. So I think those guys are all realistic. I know next year, REO Speedwagon and Styx will both be here to promote their upcoming summer tour. Zoe is 16 years old and loves RATT. It just shows you that the music survives. And I had this conversation earlier that I don't think a lot of bands are going to have a life to them. Måneskin and the Struts. What are the other bands? Greta Van Zeppelin. I don't think that these bands, you're going to be talking about them in 10 years. I don't think you're going to be talking about some of these bands in 10 months. That doesn't mean they're bad. It's very hard to survive in the music business today. As I was saying about RATT, you would watch a Madonna video and a Michael Jackson video and then a RATT video. It's insane. Everyone wants Vito Bratta. George Lynch, people love that interview and like to see more of it. And I think that could have happen. And Ricky Rackman, I invited. I guess he was busy. Who knows what that guy does? But if he doesn't want to respond, as Hunter S. Thompson said, fuck him. I'm getting parched, and I have company, and I have holiday plans, and so I could sit here and bullshit with you guys all night, but I feel like I'm boring you. Eddie Money would be great on the show. I worked with Eddie Money, and he would text me, and he texts Eddie with a $, and he calls himself the Money Man in the third person. The only problem with having Eddie Money on the show is he's dead. But other than that, he was a really great guy. I could tell you stories about Eddie Money for hours. One day I'll just log in and tell you stories about hanging out with people. Eddie Money was one of the coolest guys to hang out with. Really cool. But he is dead. If you guys want to do a seance, I'd be more than up to it. I'm not sure Eddie Money's the first person I would want to connect to, but I would like to. And then, of course, for those who haven't seen my interview with the great Cat, I'm hoping to have her back again. I didn't get to all my RATT songs with him. You could see he wasn't playing along on that. There's something, I wish he would just say, I like this one, I don't like that one. And I wanted to ask him, what do you think about Blotzer claiming he wrote songs? So, Blotzer didn't write shit. Wrote a line here. Everyone in RATT told me that privately, but I couldn't get to it. I don't, And, you know, I can't push him. And not just because I work with him, because that's not it. He's yeah, people are interested in how I went from Bobby to Steven. I'm not sure I can completely tell that story. There's some legal stuff involved with that. So CJ Ramon interview is going to happen. I promise it. He's on tour right now, but it's going to happen. Yeah, we're going to work on that, and some more Ramon stuff, because that is my backyard. And I hope to see you guys at the M3 Music Festival. I talked what I thought about the lineup, but I'll be there, and Stephen Pierce will be there, and that's really all that matters. And then some other shows. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be seeing a lot of quiet riot shows with Stephen. I wanted to ask him about having Jizzy Pearl on the same bill. I know he's friendly with Jizzy, but it's weird having the two singers from Rat. But I don't think he would have acknowledged it. And CJ Ramon is on tour right now with Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, I believe. I believe that's the band he's with. But he's on tour right now. So that's the answer to that. And I think Robin and Stephen, yeah, if Robin lived, I think he would be working with Stephen. Captain Sensible, it's a great one. Anyway, Eddie Ojeda. Eddie Ojeda's been on several times, and I'm going to give you a tea. Be here to celebrate Christmas with hot sauce. So, all right, I'm wasting all your times. You guys have had it. You're exhausted. You're tired. You're falling apart. It's after 8 o'clock. I really do have a holiday plans. So let me get out of here. Anyway, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Christmas party live. Tune in. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that bullshit. All right. Thank you very much, and good night.